Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at the potentially final buy low period on Justin Jefferson. Now, there's no lock that Mac Jones will be traded to the Minnesota Vikings. He could go somewhere else. Maybe Shanahan doesn't want to trade him. Maybe smoke season is delivering more divergence, and we don't know what in the hell is going to happen in the coming weeks and months. But we all kind of feel that the vibe is real. We all kind of feel that Mac Jones is inevitably going to be traded, and that even though Shanahan loves him, and there is an argument to make that Shanahan won't get rid of him, doesn't want to get rid of him, wanted to draft him. Rumor is that was his quarterback he wanted to draft, and everybody outweighed his opinion, which is weird because part of me doesn't buy that because Shanahan's going to get overruled on what quarterback he's going to coach. Neither here nor there. Mac Jones, according to this report, it's the belief across multiple sources, by the way, that stars could be aligning for the Niners to trade Mac Jones. And Mac Jones is going to certainly require an offer the Niners can't refuse, but Mac Jones is most likely going to warrant that kind of value given the mediocrity at the QB position, given the potential voids that some of these teams have, and Mac Jones' proven capability. Even though it's been up and down for his career, he's looked really good as of late. This is Darnold. And the Darnold sentiment that Darnold goes from, forgotten man. Daniel Jones goes from forgotten man. Baker Mayfield goes from forgotten man to team savior. Daniel Jones' success is going to play a major role, especially Darnold coming from San Francisco, doing well. Obviously, he did well in Minnesota. But Darnold, Mac Jones, these are two players that I think are going to, in comparative fashion and relating the two together, comparing the two together, going to drive a team into overpaying and making Shanahan hit the yes button on a trade, or John Lynch or Jed York. The Fantasy Football Show, the Mac Jones of the Minnesota Vikings show begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Now, not to pick on this comment right here, but this is a very Niner thing to say. It's fine. Purdy's better. Like, bro, the way you wrote that when no one was asking, the way you wrote that when it wasn't required is written in a way of desperation. That you're scared a little bit. You're wondering if the wrong quarterback is being sent away because this had nothing to do with it. But I'll tell you one thing. I do believe Mac Jones is probably, in my opinion, better than Brock Purdy in that San Francisco offense. While I know a lot of people said, bad things about Purdy, and then he kind of rebounded and had a really good remainder of the 2025 season. And he did do well. No one's trying to say that Purdy didn't have a good year as a whole. No one's trying to say Purdy didn't do well and pick up steam. And no one's saying Purdy's trash. Purdy's always been a very good game managing quarterback. Like to the point where he almost breaks out of the game manager category. Like he is close to being that good. And in best ball, he's very good. Because in best ball, you don't have to suffer through an injury or here or there. And he's constantly getting hurt. You wonder if he's going to stay healthy. Mac Jones played with a mangled MCL and knee barely hanging on. He's a dog. And he is the pick for Shanahan. Shanahan likes Mac Jones more than Brock Purdy, whether you want to buy into that or not. I'm not here to sell you on that. I could care less. I'll just tell you what I believe to be true, and you either accept it, disagree with it, ignore it. It doesn't bother me. But Mac Jones is the preference for Shanahan, but he's kind of in a pickle. Similar in different way, but very similar kind of comparison is that, the Lions knew that the better coach was Ben Johnson over Campbell, but they just couldn't do that. But why can't you do that? Why can't you just get some cojones and make the move? If the Lions were smart, They would have just said, as illogical as this feels, as much heat as we'll probably take, we will be on the right side here of history and decision-making. And Ben Johnson, welcome to the head coaching role. Campbell, you've been successful, but we're still going to fire you because we can't lose Ben Johnson. That was the only move to make. And it wasn't so unknown at the time. We said it all the time. We said they should keep Ben Johnson. They should keep Ben Johnson. They didn't. They went with Campbell. They screwed up. They obviously don't have the same team. Ben Johnson would have been a better coach by far. Heads and shoulders better. And that was known. That wasn't something in hindsight. It looks clear now. It was known then. They just didn't have the balls to do it. The San Francisco 49ers, in a different fashion but similar light, should look inward look and say, Mac's a great quarterback. We better not do this. He's great for our system. But they will probably trade him. And they'll probably trade him because the offer that comes inbound from Minnesota, from whatever team decides to play this game and become the dancing partner for this scenario, they're probably bringing an offer that the Niners can't refuse. Why? Because the Niners do have to crap or get off the pot with Purdy. And if they're going to keep Purdy as their starter and regulate Mac to the backup, but the very, very awesome backup that Shanahan can sleep well at night knowing he's got the quarterback position covered. If your team is kind of aging out, falling apart, the Niners are not as good of a team in 2026 as they were in 2025. They have Kittle coming back from an Achilles injury. Trent Williams, who the hell knows what that's going to even look like. Christian McCaffrey at the volume, beyond volumes we've ever seen. So he's going to starting to slow down in terms of running the ball. And he already started to do that. He was very inefficient between the tackles, but was so good catching the ball. Shanahan might have to look into throwing him the ball more, converting him into more of a wide back type of player that plays, behind the center, lined up in the backfield, gets carries, but oftentimes he'll line up in the slot and become kind of a wide back. Maybe starts off behind Mac Jones. I was going to say maybe starts off behind Brock Purdy, and then they motion him a lot of pre-snap motion stuff anyway. Motion CMC into the slot consistently, like maybe 50% of the time. That will help probably keep McCaffrey healthy for as long as possible. McCaffrey's drop-off is nearly inevitable this year or next year, and I'm not one to say, let me just hold on to him and let's get rid of him next year. I jump a year early. Sometimes it can burn you, but at the end of the day, this team is starting to fall apart, I think, this year. I don't think they're better than they were last year. But Mac Jones... So here's my point. Shanahan can't afford to just be like, I'm going to hang on to him and back up the position. Shanahan needs to improve the roster. Shanahan needs to take Mac Jones, turn him into something that can help support the starters. You can't just keep worrying about the backup roles and positions. You have to say, we're going to take the Mac Jones bargaining chip, instead of keeping it there, move it into a position to implement a change at one of the starting positions or multiple positions. That's what's got to happen. So Shanahan is going to be like, I don't want to trade Mac Jones. However, you help my lineup maybe in multiple ways. I could send Mac Jones packing. And I believe that is what is aligning in this report. The stars are aligning for Mac Jones trade. The only logical choice, though, would be to go to the Minnesota Vikings at this moment, at least. And let me be abundantly and crystal clear. This is the last time, for as long as it lasts, for as long as this purgatory of quarterback situation in Minnesota lasts. This is the final moment you can grab Justin Jefferson at his lowest price tag. Because your boy's been beating a dead horse on this topic over and over. I will continue to beat a dead horse on this topic until this comes to a conclusion and the situation gets rectified and JJ's value returns to the top 5 or 6 overall, top 3 wide receiver, top 5 to 6 overall variety. Get JJ in existing leagues. Make the gamble that he doesn't get the quarterback situation fixed. Take on that risk because the upside is tremendous. He doubles in value, more than doubles in value, the moment the quarterback situation gets resolved in Minnesota. And this is a league winner. This is a dynasty, rebuild your franchise around a guy that's getting traded for roughly top of round 2 value, sometimes later, when he deserves in Dynasty to still be considered in the top 3 or 4 overall and top 1 to 3 in Dynasty. Redraft, he's still a top 5 to 6 overall player, maybe top 7 to 8 overall player. If the situation's a little different than Mac Jones, we'll have to play it by ear. Maybe they bring in Tua Tagovailoa. Maybe they bring in Malik Willis. Maybe they bring in no one. But guess what? If they bring in no one, he still has a real strong chance of earning almost, if not really close to, his second round value that you're paying now, even with a remotely improved situation. Maybe they go for Kyler Murray in Minnesota, and we're not exactly excited about how he's been translating in terms of the throwing to his wide receivers and developing the Larry Fitzgeralds of the Cardinals versus what he did to the MHJ and Michael Wilson and even McBride to a point. There is a world where Kyler is dangerous for Justin Jefferson's production, but there's still upside that Kyler could be fixed by O'Connell in this system so that JJ would be returning to some sort of form of his old former previous self, his producing top 5, top 6 overall producing self. So no matter what happens, I think the value on JJ is going to rise. No matter what happens, in the worst case scenarios, JJ probably earns maybe a little less than the value cost of entry that you're paying right now in a redraft, in a dynasty startup, in an existing dynasty trade. He probably could, maybe, if nothing changes, if they bank on J9, they don't bring anybody else, J9 doesn't get better, he gets worse, you still could have JJ schemed for differently. They're going to have a whole offseason to figure out how to get him the ball, and you'll start seeing him get the football at the line of scrimmage, similar to Deebo Samuel in San Francisco when Jimmy Garoppolo was a horrible quarterback, and Jimmy Garoppolo would just say, Deebo, hut, blue 32, hike, Deebo, take it. Deebo would catch the ball at or behind the line of scrimmage and make things happen himself. I firmly believe with a whole offseason, even without an improved quarterback situation, JJ will become that. That is your worst case scenario. That is worth the cost of entry. That is near zero risk proposition. If Mac Jones is traded and he's the most likely quarterback to move to Minnesota, this thing gets really good again. You saw DeMarcus Robinson and what he looked like with Mac Jones. Mac Jones can certainly support a wide receiver producing top 5 wide receiver numbers if said wide receiver is Justin Jefferson. Mac Jones is the key to all of this. Malik Willis wouldn't be bad. Kyler Murray is better than just J9. At least you have Kyler. If he fails, then you put J9 back in. But either way, JJ's earning late second round value, top of round 3 value. You're not losing your shirt on JJ if this goes awry. But buying on the assumption that either Tua Tagovailoa, not that he wins games, but he throws the ball down the field, assuming that Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, Malik Willis, one of the 3 quarterbacks is in Minnesota, you are golden if you're going and getting and trading and drafting this man at his current cost of entry, which is in the top of second round territory or mid second round, or in some cases in grandma leagues, in your Aunt Edna's league, late second round value. JJ is a winner. JJ is a monster. JJ is a league winner. JJ is the kind of player you build or rebuild your dynasty, your existing dynasty league around while people are sleeping at the wheel and there's scared sallies about this situation. Take advantage of this Jupiter man.
The Jupiter men. Jupiter is so...
The Saturn man.
Saturn.
One small step for man, one
Saturn
giant
man.
leap.
Maybe he needs to be on Jupiter board. And these values are all about
Saturn
ADP.
man.
One small
These are all about ADP. Everything on this board is about value. We don't just stick a player on here that doesn't have value. Very rarely do we do. Sometimes it's a tribute to the fact that we invented the player. Like Gibbs probably is Gibbs on the Jupiter board.
The Jupiter men.
He needs
Jupiter is so large.
We'll put Gibbs on
Every
there.
planet in
This
the
is
solar
the only-
system could fit inside it.
This is the only kind of situation where this happens, but Gibbs is still a league winner, even at number 3 or 4 overall. So this isn't a oh, this is crazy obvious, you can't celebrate this. We can, not to mention we invented Jahmyr Gibbs. But Jahmyr Gibbs being the third or fourth player in some cases. He deserves to be the number 1 overall pick. Jahmyr Gibbs is my number 1, bona fide, locked and loaded number 1 overall pick. Let's change this date to 2/19. We're adding the dates that these are entered, and that way we can make sure we properly celebrate these things as they start to unfold, and we can landmark the time that this became a not so good value anymore, but we told you when to do it. This guy, number 1 overall, you can even take him 1 overall. It's not a reach, but he goes in the 3-4 territory. He could be easily by far and away the LaDainian Tomlinson type, rationale here. The Marshall Faulk, you draft Marshall Faulk, you won. You draft LT, you won. This is how good Gibbs can be, and Petzing, I think, is a good addition, and it fixes the situation, makes it more consistent. So Gibbs, welcome to the Jupiter board. These are all values. These are all guys that can climb almost double their value. Gibbs, if he's going 4 and he goes 1, that's more than double his value. He's climbing. Jeremiah Love going mid-second could easily be, in hindsight, worth going 10, 9, 11 overall. Bowers at mid to late second round could easily be argued where McBride's going. Genty in the top of 2, mid 2 sometimes, could easily be argued at the end of the day, top 5 overall. Josh Allen, 3rd round, could easily be argued mid-second, high second round value. This is my QB1. This board is glorious. This board is locked and loaded. This board is locked and loaded. And JJ is the best value in the second round right now in fantasy football, period. Genty and JJ, to be frank. Genty, JJ Bowers. How many can I list? Let's just stop there. Genty, JJ Bowers, 3-way tie for the best values in second or third round territory, period. Bucky Hall in 3. These are the ones that win leagues. These are the players you rebuild around. These are the monsters that help you dominate.
You've just been Smitty approved.
We're going to open the phone lines here in 1 second, but I think I would be remiss without making some sort of tribute to these monsters here. Where's my JJ video? We need an exclusive Justin Jefferson video for sure, but I do at least have Bruce's mom. Here all the Bruce. Here we go. The Bruce collection.
Yes, get Jefferson. Get Jefferson. Yes, get Jefferson.
That is the Robeson collection, and that's the only JJ. We got to create a JJ video. But drop the JJ emoji in the live chat. You know we got one. Drop the Gibbs emoji in the live chat. Drop the Bowers and Genty emojis in the live chat. My Rumblers over on Rumble, what are you doing over here? Let's check it out. I've got Aldi in the building, Landman in the building, 420 man in the building. Guys, by the way, on Rumble, if we end up getting to 10,000 subscribers, the new Rumble show kicks off immediately that Monday. And if somebody drops a $500 crypto Rumble tip jar, Rumble wallet tip in Bitcoin, because that's how they do it on, I mean, you can do super chats on Rumble. They're called Rumble Rants. But then you can also do additional tips on Rumble. The first time we get a 500 by anybody, I'll dedicate the show to you the entire month. And we start it that exact Monday, if not the day after that tip happens. Which means if someone dropped a 500 Rumble wallet tip in BTC or Ethereum or Tether Gold, either one, that's the 3 that they have on Rumble and the Rumble wallet. If anybody drops a 500 on that, we might start it tomorrow. So Rumble is rocking. I appreciate my Rumblers. Let me open the phone lines. Dial in. Appreciate all my YouTubers in the building. Ray G, Dice Boy, Coach, Larry, Travis in the building. First one here was, I believe, Shrimp, then Travis, then Born in the building. I believe that's Drawing. Is Drawing Lewis? Or is that Luis? Drawing, appreciate you. Alex M. Alex, Big Profit, appreciate everybody in the building. Chris, dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I mean, just get ready, guys. This is the time of your lives. This is the move or the draft selection. Bowers, Genty, JJ, Bucky, Hall. There's a lot of them, but let's specifically stay on track here. This is the kind of move you talk to your grandkids about. This is the kind of move that feeds families. JJ in round 2. JJ at second round trade value. JJ at a territory that he has no business being in. JJ, who everybody's forgetting he's a top 3 wide receiver in the National Football League. JJ, the player people think might not even be capable of being the number 1 fantasy football player or number 1 receiver in the National Football League. This is the guy people are forgetting already. Fickle Freddies everywhere are assuming that this won't return to the situation it once was. That this monster right here can't return to glory. I mean, all he needs is a quarterback. And what you're being told is Mac Jones is a strong chance of getting traded. And if the stars are aligning, again, all Minnesota has to do is offer something extravagant. Offer over offer. Make sure that San Francisco says, well, if we're going to go with Brock Purdy, then let's build around him. And with the team collapsing slowly, but it will collapse, we can replenish here if we go ahead and trade Mac for that and then develop here. It's that simple. Racing Boy with a $10 hauler. Racing Boy, all super chats get standing ovations on this channel. In the offseason, we're at least attempting to do that. And I will continue to try and pull that off as we celebrate Racing Boy's $10 hauler. Yeah, buddy. Racing Boy, appreciate you. I'm not touching JJ in the second round. No way. That is what I'm talking about. We need more of you, Zion, in the building. That's what we're doing. Mashed potatoes. Zion, tell your friends. Tell everybody. Share that sentiment, please. That is amazing. That's the best news I've seen all day. Thank you, Zion. Racing Boy says, I asked about neighbors for Amon-Ra. The other you said you wouldn't do it straight up. Let's see. Amon-Ra neighbors. Naders. You mean neighbors, but straight up. What are you doing? Driving? What are we doing here? What if I could get Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Burden? The Patreon seemed kind of split. Okay, so good job asking on the Patreon. For anybody that wants 24/7, 365 advice, link in description, or go to patreon.com/thefantasyfootballshow. But that's a good move to go to the Patreon. Patreon seems split. So you're saying Amon-Ra and Burden neighbors. What side am I falling on? I don't really care what side you're on. I'm going to tell you what side I fall on, which is kind of how I always do it. Amon and Burden or neighbors. That is a tough one because I hate the Nagy hire. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I don't think it necessarily holds neighbors back all the, down to being inefficient like JJ's been. But I do think that this is, you're still wondering about the injury, which I don't necessarily factor in too much when it comes to long-term longevity. But if you have a chance to win and you can win cash money, this guy's consistently Amon-Ra St. Brown in the top 4 or 5 wide receivers. So it's really, really hard to, ignore that for the next handful, not 1 year, not even really 2, you probably go more than 2. I don't know if I'd start counting on 3, 4, 5 more years, but 2 to 3 I could get behind, where Amon-Ra plays as a top, 7 wide receiver. Burden's really exciting to become something along the lines of what JMO is worth right now, what Higgins is worth. This is an intriguing offer. Chat, vote on this one. Would you rather have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Burden or Malik Neighbors? The risk is on the Neighbors. This has way more risk. It has a tad more upside, just a tad more. But the security and upside of the now is equal, if not more, than Neighbors with the risk that Neighbors has. So really, the upsides with this Amon-Ra Burden for the now and probably for the next year, The upside but the risk is higher. The upside for Neighbors is higher longevity wise, but I don't know. It's a real tough one. Let's see what the chat says right here. And just chat, please vote. Please vote. Not one click on Malik this year or last year. St. Brown equals Fitzgerald. Monroe Burdenside for me. It looks like we'll keep getting these votes coming in, but I think that the lean is going to be a Monroe Burden by the group. Now, if you can't use Burden, still doesn't mean I don't do it because it's good value. You could have flipped Burden as something else to upgrade a running back or something. I think I'm leaning toward this side, and there's a couple reasons too, man. You may say, "Oh, my league's going to stay together forever." People always say that about their leagues, but man, dynasty leagues they fold in 2, 3, 4 years sometimes, and maybe this is like a 5-year league or something, but they still could fold at 8 years. Though eventually people will, sit out. And then you start losing people. So it looks like Burden and Monroe is winning this vote. I would lean toward a Monroe Burden side. I just think it gives you 2-3 years of you're hoping Neighbors plays like a Monroe for the next 2 or 3 years. So just take it and go with it. And then what if Burden can climb close to Neighbors' value? I'm not saying he will, but if he does, then you're golden, man. Then you crushed it. But it looks like the Burden St. Brown side won pretty heavily. So that is the safer side. Thank you, Racing Boy, for the super chat. It's a tough call. Like I could easily, if you told me to flip the script and argue the other side, I could easily argue the other side without a hesitation. It's that good. Thank you guys. Mac, a Saturn man material. Is he Land Man? I would say Moon Man. I think, Saturn, little bold to use a spot on Mackie Boy there, but I think, the Macmeister could definitely be a Moon Man or a Moon Man. Definitely. He almost qualifies for a revenge tour, going on a revenge tour for his career. Mac Jones. So, yeah. All right, dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
I mean, St. Brown, there's a reason St. Brown scares people,
Legend has it if you say St. Brown 3 times in the dark in the bathroom, you will immediately lose your league.
So, there you have it. Jefferson and Purdy. No, bro, you're not getting. Stop. Why do Niner fans think they can get these players to? They think they can get everybody. It's the wildest thing in the world. Like Puka Nacua posted a picture of him and the San Francisco 49er cheerleaders. And you should read the comments on one of those posts. The oblivious Niner fans, like, I'm not mad at it. Like, yeah, bring him in. Yeah, we could do this. We could pull it off. Man, Puka's on his way. Puka eventually is playing for the Niners. You can tell. That's what he said. Like we should do it. We should do it. What do you mean we should do it? How in the hell are you going to get JJ? What in the hell are you going to do to pull JJ off a team that isn't folding? They're trying to win now. They're coming for your Mac Jones. They're not giving you Justin Jefferson from Minnesota. What are we talking about? This is like when Aaron Rodgers was tempted to return. Niner fans were like, he should come back and be our backup. Like, yeah, that's what's on his mind right now. JJ ain't going anywhere, bro. The dead cap, none of it makes sense. Next year, his dead cap lowers. It's not going to happen this year. It's not. It's so funny, man. Worse than Yankee fans, says Jose. It's wild, man. The Niner fans think they're getting everybody. They're like, well, why don't we bring in Isaiah Likely and Kyle Pitts? like as if 2 free agents would be like, yeah, let's share the ball. Let's draft Jeremiah Love behind Christian McCaffrey and not use him yet. Next year, look, Burrow's going nowhere. Jamar Chase is going nowhere. Justin Jefferson's going nowhere. 2027's a different story. If the Bengals fail Joe Burrow, again this year and don't properly build around him, Joe Burrow will make a stink. He still might not be gone, but 2027 is the year that JJ, Joe Burrow, these boys start making some noise. You're not seeing any one of these trades happening in 2026. I hate to break it to all the people out there that think that this is something that's even feasible to talk about. You know what else is crazy right now to discuss is this situation right here. I can get this damn thing out of the way. This right here, Chicago Bears might be moving to Indiana. What in the hell is going on here? And this is real because the stadium, the offer, everything the Bears are being offered is legitimately enough to do it. So Chicago's got to figure out a way to fix this. And they've got incompetent, people making decisions over there. The Indiana Bears is a real thing right now. Hampton Bears, maybe. We don't know what they're going to be called, but the Indiana Bears. The Bears are likely to move to Indiana. It's not far away from Chicago on a map, obviously. But Hammond, Indiana, this is wild. And right when the Bears get a quarterback that they believe in, regardless of if they're overvaluing him, undervaluing him, whatever. I'm not trying to debate that today. But you finally get a quarterback, and Caleb certainly is their quarterback. They lose their team. And that's got to be just a kick to the sack. I will say the Indiana Bears kind of has a ring to it. I don't hate it personally, but Bears fans got to be irate about this. And they're going to be so territorial over this. This is going to be a wild fight between the new Indiana Bear fans and the old Chicago Bear fans, and the Chicago Bear fans trying to pretend it's still their team. And I understand why you still root for them, just like when somebody that lives in, New York is a Yankees fan and they move to Arizona or they move to California and they're still a Yankees fan. The team moving away from you sucks. It hurts more. It definitely is a shot to the gut when your own team leaves you. But I can understand why they remain a fan. But calling them still the Chicago Bears it's going to be a wild sight. There's going to be a lot of people not coping or letting go of this. They're going to be living in an alternate reality where they're neglecting the reality of the situation and just saying, they're the Chicago Bears. They are the Bears. I mean, what a joke. Chicago is just running to the ground. And crazy, man. Crazy. We'll see if it plays out. The Bears fans and the city, the state, they're up in arms right now. So definitely mountains will be moved to try and undo the momentum here. But as of right now, Indiana Bears is legitimately about as likely as, I don't know, as likely as anything along these lines. So, yeah, I mean, who would have thought the Colts, the Indiana Bears, that Indiana would have two football teams, especially one moving just right. And that's the kicker, right? It's good for Bears fans that the stadium will literally be I think it's 30 minutes away to get to it from Chicago into Indiana, into Hampton, Indiana, or Hammond, Indiana, sorry. But it's almost like a bigger kick to the sack, though. Is we're gonna. It's like watching your ex move in across the street the next week. They're just gonna watch Indiana relish in the Chicago Bears, and it's gonna be one of those things where the Bears fans will not let go of it. They're still Chicago. No, they're not. They're not going to be if this goes through. So this is gonna be crazy. Illinois governor is pissed off. No, he's not. He's incompetent. He's not pissed off. He let this happen. He's pretending to be pissed off. You got it all wrong, Joseph. The Indiana governor doesn't know what he's doing. He let this happen. He's not pissed off. He's completely oblivious is what he is. He's not pissed off, my boy. Okay, let's see here. Landman. The teddy bears, says Turbo. Good for Indiana, though. JJ needs anyone but 9. That's true. That's true. I agree with you. That's really all the news that's out really today. I can pull up as many news wires and sources as I can real quickly and just, take a gander at what might be emerging right now. There's not a lot of news today. There really is just this, a lot of the Mac Jones stuff being talked about, a lot of just nonsense, a lot of smoke, a lot of stuff we've already covered. But right now, there's just not a lot of other information. And if anybody wants to know, what the bigger pieces of news are for the week, we went over the Tyreek Hill situation already. Won't beat a dead horse on that, but Tyreek Hill needs another surgery. He admitted on a live stream 2 nights ago, and KC fans think this is a fix and it's going to happen and it's going to be great. The stars are aligning for him to be back in KC, and maybe he does re-sign with KC, but will he be ready for week 1? Highly unlikely. And if he does, he'll be pushing it and probably suffer some sort of relapse or setback or hamstring injury. So Tyreek Hill's cooked. He's 32 years old on March 1. And he literally is going to suffer nonstop injury, coming back from a dislocated knee with a torn MCL, torn LCL, torn ACL, torn meniscus, and he requires another LCL surgery, which is going to set him quite a bit back. And he even admitted on the live stream that multiple doctors have said he'll never be the same. And he's looking at that like a challenge, like, yeah. But he's 32 years old. The healing for that is not going to happen. And then Rashee Rice, this news, the reason why so many Chiefs fans are excited is they need him, they think, because Rice is now back in the news. Lawsuit filed against him by his baby's mama, his 2 children, with the alleged victim, who is claiming that he definitely put hands on her, and there's domestic situation going on. Not good for Rice, who's on probation for 5 years. Not good for Rice, who was handed a stiff and firm 6-game suspension last year. So there's no slap on the wrist because he already got a heavy hand handed to him last year. So this is a mess for KC, a mess for Rice owners. And Tyreek Hill is anybody expecting Hill to step up and become some savior for KC. They're just completely living in la la land. The Chiefs, if they're smart, will draft a rookie wide receiver or Jeremiah Love with this number 9 overall pick. So Jeremiah Love at 9, Tyson at 9, Carnell Tate at 9, or my least favorite of the 3, but still elite potential in the right situation would be Mekhi Lemon. Thanks again, Luis, for this super chat. Appreciate you. That was Luis. I thought the other username was Luis. My bad. I still appreciate. I think it was drawing. I still appreciate you, though. Mississippi River connects my town to Illinois. Completely different world on the other side of the river, says Silver. It's not happening. Please stop, says Roger. Roger, you better get ready because it's in motion. It's more likely that the Bears go to Indiana than not at this moment in time. It's not some sort of like scare tactic. It comes down to the Bears getting the best offer and the Chicago mayor sleeping on his hands, and then people thinking he's mad. So get ready. Indiana is going to, at this moment in time, be the front dog lead dog for the Bears. It's crazy. Let me ask Kruger something. Let's get Kruger's opinion on this one. Kruger probably has some good information on this particular situation. Hey, Kruger, you heard about the Bears maybe going to Indiana, be the Indiana Bears? You heard that?
I haven't heard that one. It sounds like one of those wild relocations.
How do you not know that? It's in the works. What are you talking about, Kruger? Research it real quickly. Look it up, please. It's breaking news today that Hammond, Indiana is probably going to be the location of the Chicago Bears. God, got to do his job for him.
So the Chicago Bears haven't committed to moving yet, but Indiana lawmakers did approve a measure to set up a stadium authority in northwest Indiana near Hammond. The Bears acknowledge this is a major step in their stadium planning, but they're still doing due diligence. The team hasn't sold any land or finalized any deal, and Illinois is still in the mix. Basically, it's a big option on the table, but nothing's locked in yet.
Yeah. What's your prediction on whether we're calling? Actually, let me ask you this question: when would this actually take place? What year, if it did go through?
If something like this went through, you'd typically be looking at a multi-year timeline. Planning, approvals, and building a stadium could easily stretch into the late 2020s. So I'd say not before maybe 2028 or later.
Does anybody have a number on that? Somebody look that up. When that would be? I don't know. Kruger's becoming less reliable on this kind of stuff. It really is. I got to tell him to go searching for the information again because he doesn't. When could the Bears be in Indiana? Let's see. February 2020. Nothing. There's no projection yet. I don't know. It'd probably be like probably 2028. I don't know. Something like that. 2028, 2020, 2029, 2028. I give a few years to say goodbye. But good gracious, what are we doing here? You wait until this moment in time. It's partly on the Chicago mayor. As a Washington fan, I stand with Gregory. I don't know what that means, bro. As a Washington fan, I'm offended by the Bears name. They need to change it. Oh, says Gregory. Okay. Commander fans are pissed off because their name got changed on them, and I don't blame them. I think it's ridiculous. I do think the Commanders is kind of a cool name, though. I wasn't one that was totally against it. I kind of like that name over other names. I forget what the other names that were being considered. It was Commanders. It was the Generals. I think there was something Generals at one point. Thank you, Rumble. Appreciate you all being here. Keep it up. We got Landman with the $20 hauler on Rumble. Landman, you straight up savage monster. You. Let's put this Rumble rant up on the screen here and celebrate this man right here. Landman, thank you very much. And we also have a BBQ super chat that happened at the exact same time. That BBQ, thank you for the super chat. Landman, thank you for the super chat. Let's read Landman's first and then over to BBQ's. Smitty, Landman here. My Commanders have a plethora of cap space. If you were Peters, their GM, give us 3 to 4 free agent draft moves you would make Smitty still to go. I would probably say that for me, very, very easy decision for me is to go in the direction of getting Roma Dunze, probably Roma Dunze, I think, but BTJ, Roma Dunze, I think, Mike Evans, and then going after Jeremiah Love would make tremendous sense. Going and getting Breece Hall and then drafting, a rookie wide receiver. For me, it's really, really simple. The 7 pick, if you go after Breece Hall and you trade for Breece Hall, then this becomes you could make it. You could go offensive line, you could go defense, you could do whatever you want with 7 as long as you brought in Mike Evans and traded for Breece Hall. All of that is probably not likely. So trading for Breece Hall and drafting Tyson, Tate, or trading. I mean, you could technically trade for BTJ or a Dunze, I think, reasonably. And there's no reason you couldn't do really all of it. But because of the cost of a Dunze isn't going to be a first rounder or anything. I mean, it's a reasonable player to go acquire at a reasonable price. But I would say if my ideal move would be Jeremiah Love. He's a generational running back. And then I would say probably trade a second round or whatever it costs to get a Dunze or BTJ. Then you're golden. The next best move probably would be taking one of the I'd take Tyson or Tate, Carnell Tate. Carnell Tate would be amazing because the man he doesn't drop the ball. I don't think he dropped the ball once in college. He's Chris Carter. The way he catches the football. Carnell Tate's amazing. With a precision quarterback like JD5, they'd be a match made in heaven. And he complimented McLaurin until McLaurin fell off, and McLaurin's going to fall off in about a calendar year. So that wide receiver mixed with trading for Breece Hall also would be my second favorite move, period. And then bring in Isaiah Likely would be good. Kyle Pitts would be interesting, but Isaiah Likely would be fine. That'd be fantastic. Those would be kind of some of the moves I would make. But it would require Hall or Love, and it would require Evans at the very least. And then you can kind of plan for replacing Evans and McLaurin, but it gives you a now capability. They're easily capable of winning now. Bears move to Indiana on a mission from God to win a Super Bowl. Can you imagine? The Bears would be like, he did it for us. I still consider it Chicago Super Bowl. It has to be. It's not going to be. Can you imagine they move to Indiana and win a Super Bowl right away? Unbelievable. I wonder what the tax ramifications are too for the players. What happens there. But unbelievable situation. Just crazy. I can't imagine. Honestly, the Cardinals are such a disappointing team. I don't think the Cardinal fans would lose too much sleep over it. They'd be like, maybe this is a closer path to getting a different team someday. Bears fans that had they had a bad season last year probably would have felt the same. They would have been done with it anyway. But things just turn around for him. Ben Johnson's so good and gets the most out of everybody there. It would be horrible timing if they left and won a Super Bowl. Even if they win a Super Bowl and leave, it's going to be painful, but at least they'd have that. Parker Washington, so 12 team, thank you, Big Profit, for dropping the Super Chat. Appreciate you. Big Profit to the moon. Big Profit says 12 team Superflex 2.2 for 2.9 and Parker Washington. Give me Parker Washington in the 2.9. I really like Parker Washington. I'd trade any second rounder straight up for him. So the fact that you're getting a second rounder with him, even though it's moving down, easy. I'd trade the 2.2 straight up for Parker Washington. So easy call. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Rumblers, start your engines. Guys, if anybody's got the Rumble wallet, anybody that drops the 200 Rumble wallet crypto tip, these Rumble rants are different. Like the one Landman just dropped, those are just like super chats. But if anybody drops even a 200 Rumble wallet tip, they get into the Wild Wild West League. And the first two people that do the $200 crypto wallet tip, I'll send a pair of Gunner glasses to you as well. So you could look at it like that. I'll send I got a couple pairs that we could send on over Red Rover style. And I think they're the Dune glasses, which are these ones right here. So if anybody's got that crypto wallet, do it live. These are the Dune glasses. These are pretty awesome. This is one pair. One pair are, I believe, the Amber Max. These are blue light blockers. These are the gold. And then I've got one that I think they're the gold. They might be the silver. Or I have another pair. We have a few different pairs, but just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back at midnight Eastern. I would be glad to take a call or two if you guys want to. If the phone lines are even working, they might not be. Let me reset them real quickly. That might be why. I'll take 2 phone calls, quick phone calls, and then we're out of here. We'll be back at midnight Eastern on Rumble and the main YouTube channel, and then we'll come back after that and do a Dynasty video as well. So 2 more shows tonight. The first one will be on Rumble and YouTube at the same time, the Graveyard Show at midnight Eastern, and then the Dynasty show right after.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Can you imagine if Mac Jones gets traded to the Vikings, all these people that are sitting on their hands with JJ, not going after him, and then how many people are going to come in here and say things like, let me read Mark's great comment here. Mark says, after years of listening, his voice and personality, emotional immaturity, time to unsubscribe. Audio Smitty. Mark, don't let the door hit you on the way out. We'll see you later, bro. Can you imagine what's going to happen to the people that are like coming in here? How many times do you think we're going to see people say, Smitty, what should I give up for JJ? Should I give up Amon-Ra St. Brown right now? Should I give up Jahmyr Gibbs and get trade for JJ now? Don't be the guy that's trying to do this later. Don't try and do it later. You're live. Is this, do I recognize, is this Indy Joe?
Yes, sir.
Indy Joe, you're live. I recognize the number or the name. How are you feeling right now, my boy? Maybe getting
the Indiana Bears.
Yeah, and Mark, real quickly, Mark, who says he's out of here. Time, the immaturity and listening to my voice. We'll see you next show. We know you love the show. We know you'll be back, Mark. Mark will be watching from the shadows. Come on, Mark. Go ahead, Indy Joe. How you feeling about having two football teams, maybe?
Hey, I love it for the state of Indiana. It's awesome. I mean, I think they said that it's going to be like $1.5 to $2 billion towards the stadium, if I remember correctly.
I don't think Chicago can even do that. I don't think they can even pull that off. How are they going to counter this? Because it's about the Bears getting the best deal. For those that wonder if the Bears are being moved, against their will, it's about the offer. Like, that's a lot of money. I don't know if Chicago they can't even afford to take care of their own city.
Yeah, and that's what they're wanting. I mean, they really do want a new stadium. I mean, it's so outdated. They've been wanting one for a long time. If I remember, them saying that or them trying to get it for a long time.
Yeah. We'll see. Would you become a Bears fan? And look,
no, I couldn't do that.
Let me say something here, though. I believe, truly, that if you end up getting a team like that, like the Indiana Bears, if a team like Indiana receives a team like that, you have every right in the world to become a fan. I don't think you're jumping on at all. 100%. If you live, that's a pass. That's a free pass to jump straight into the fan base. I think that's ridiculous to argue that you can't do that. That's an immediate pass. So anybody out there that's not a Bear fan or says that, hey, I've been a Bear fan I don't care. You immediately get a pass to walk straight to the front of the line because that's your state.
Yeah, I mean, like at work, like with this news that passed today, there were a couple guys that were already thinking about, switching over to becoming Bears fans, and I wasn't mad about it. I mean, they're pretty good right now, and I don't know, I guess they're just hopping on the train. But I couldn't switch up. I love my Colts.
Yeah. Bears moved to Indiana on a mission. I did that one. Okay, just make sure I got these super chats out of the way. All right. What else you got, real quick, Indy Joe, and then I'll go over to Husseini, and then we'll end the show. And then
so I got two rookies that I had questions about. I don't know if I've missed your shows or not, but what are your thoughts about Malachi Fields?
Love him. I talk about him like every day. Love him.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
I think he has a chance to be.
He can be a star.
I think he has a chance to be the Deebo Samuel of the class. And for those that want to look at Deebo now and judge that, you're not thinking about it right. Deebo was really electric. He pressed very much in drills at the combine, and he was really promising. And he turned out to be amazing for the short period of time that he was. But he was amazing. He was definitely amazing. I think Malachi Fields could be that Deebo Samuel. I really like him. I like Malachi Fields. I like Casey Concepcion, and I love Denzel Boston. Those are probably the three wide receivers that I think one could flirt with the third wide receiver rank. And whichever one goes to a horrible spot of the top three, Tyson, and make no mistake about it, Tyson and Carnell Tate, tier break for me. I like Mekhi Lemon in the next tier, maybe by himself, but he's either capable of climbing into the top tier and even above Tate or Tyson with the ideal landing spot because situation's king. But make no mistake about it, it is first and foremost, it is the two wide receivers, Carnell Tate and Jordan Tyson. These are the two best rookie wide receivers, and it's not even close. But Malachi Fields could easily be the third, receiver. Denzel Boston could easily be the third receiver. There's a potential these guys go to an elite place. Like you imagine like Malachi Fields going to let's say he goes to Green Bay and the way they've developed there sucks. And I'm not saying I love the spot, but could an elite player become the one there? Watson has injury problems again or something like that. Could be like a sneaky place to go. Not saying I love that place. I'm just trying to paint a picture of, like, in hindsight, it doesn't look great, ends up being great. Denver, who knows what they have at receiver? Honestly, like, anybody could emerge if they're an elite player, would emerge above all of them. I think New England at 31 overall would be probably the most obvious choice of a place, or Buffalo. Buffalo at 26 or New England at 31 would be an obvious choice of one of Denzel, Boston. Malachi Fields probably won't go that high, so it'd be later on. But, I mean, those are great spots that if an elite player snuck into that spot, became the next Deebo Samuel, certainly could climb.
I see him going in the second or third round potentially if he drops that far.
Yeah, he's definitely not top 3 or 4 or anything, so he will probably slip to 2. It could slip to 3. AC Concepcion could climb.
And then, what's your thoughts on Kenyon Sadiq?
I like him. I do. I like him a lot. I think in the right spot, he could be every bit as good as one of Loveland and Fannin and Warren. I'm not saying he'll go above all those guys. I'm just saying he could get in there for sure. In the right spot. It'd have to be ideal.
Think of like top 20 in the draft?
Yeah, I think he will. He's by far the top tight end in the class, and I think he's only going to increase and impress for sure. His film was fantastic. He plays like a wide receiver. He lays out for footballs. Like a lot of tight ends, you think about they almost look like a refrigerator out there. They're just going down, they're kind of running into people, they're running over people. But when you start getting horizontal and diving for footballs and dragging your toes and you're looking like a wide receiver, it gives you that upside that if everything goes well. And Fannin was very similar to that because Fannin was a wide receiver in college practically. He was the number 1 wide receiver in the entire college football. People don't know that. Like, it's crazy. Like, we invented Harold Fannin.
Most yards, I think.
Yeah, we invented Harold Fannin, but we shouldn't have, because he outperformed every wide receiver in college football his final year in college, including Jeremiah Smith, including Ted McMillan, including Travis Hunter. He was the number 1 reception getter and number 1 yardage getter out of every receiver in the nation, and he played tight end, and nobody really saw him coming. It was embarrassing, but we did. But that's the way I feel about Sadiq. I do. I think he could be that kind of surprise, but he has to go to the right spot.
Yeah, situation's king. But hey, I appreciate it, Smitty. I won't take up any more of your time, man.
All right, later, bro. Husseini, you're live. You're the final caller. Husseini, what can I do for you, pal?
Hey, Smitty. What's up?
Yo.
I just want to say this Bears deal. Yeah, I mean, money talks. And this is a very, very, very similar situation as the Chiefs. I mean, pretty much identical in terms of the way it's happening. Like you said, Illinois just doesn't want to show the money. They can't really. I don't know if they can't afford it or if they're not willing to spend that kind of money. But regardless, Indiana says, "Here's all the money you need. Here's a blank paycheck. Just come here." That's all. That's pretty much what the Chiefs.
Yeah, we'll see what the Bears or Chicago can drum up, because the Chicago, the city mayor, incompetent mayor, kind of just almost like obliviously just let it all happen, and then now acts mad about it, which is so ridiculous. Yeah. And I don't know what the solution will be, but I know that he's going to get so much backlash from these politicians, man. And given he is definitely the kind of politician that is going to cater to whatever will get him votes and stuff, so he's going to try and fix it, but I don't know, man. I'm not sure it's going to work. Blitzen with a 5 gifted memberships, Blitzen to the mother freaking moon. Again, guys, appreciate your super chats. And the first person that drops that 200 crypto Rumble wallet, BTC or Tether Gold or Ethereum in a $200 forms in the Wild Wild West League with a pair of gunners to boot. Do it live. Anything? What else is on your mind, Hussein? Before we jump out of here, thank you, Blitzen.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, you're right with the politician thing, because it's the same thing here in Kansas City. Like, same thing. The Kansas City mayor sucks. Nobody likes him, and he basically let it slip out of his hands. Let the state of Kansas take the Chiefs. Basically, the Chiefs offered the Hunt family $3 billion, and I mean, who's going to refuse $3 billion? So, and Missouri basically said, no, we can't match that. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to help you in any way to improve your Chiefs team. And so the Chiefs said, okay, then bye, Missouri. We're going to Kansas. And then the mayor of Missouri got all pissed off, and the state of Missouri was all sour mouth, and they're like, why did you go there? You know, blah, blah, blah. We could have worked something out. No, you wouldn't. You guys had all these years to figure it out, and you guys didn't. You just sat on your hands, and then when finally Kansas actually did something about it, now you want to get all up on arms because you're not going to have a football team anymore. Well, you guys should have done something about that. It's crazy. Same thing with the Chicago situation. It's like, it's just crazy. I mean,
the Chicago, the city of Chicago, and I'm sure people that live in Chicago would probably agree with this, and I have a little bit of a connection to that because I live in Arizona. You know who's the most migrated group of people from one state to another? Chicago to Arizona. There's so many Chicago natives that live here in Arizona full-time or part-time during the weather. But that's why Lou Malnati is one of my former, but I still promote the hell out of him, and hopefully I work with him again soon. Lou Malnati's one of the best pizza places in the world, in my opinion. They're in Chicago. They're based in Chicago. Lou Malnati's Pizza is Chicago pizza, and they're in Arizona. That's why Arizona actually has a couple of the top 10 pizza places in the country. People think Arizona doesn't have good pizza. They're out of their mind. Arizona has 2 top 10 pizza joints in Arizona. Lou Malnati's. I don't even think Lou Malnati's is one of them. They are to me. To me, they're a top 10 pizza joint in the nation. But I don't even think they qualify of the 2 that I'm referencing that constantly get voted. Even Dave Portnoy gave Pizza Bianco here in Phoenix, and I think it's in Scottsdale as well. It was like an 8. I forget what his score was. Let me see what Dave Portnoy gave it. It was, Dave Portnoy, Arizona Pizza high scores. Let's find out what he did. He gave Trevor's Liquor, which is right down the street from me, and it's like it's obviously a liquor store and a pizza joint, but it's very gourmet, very expensive, fine dining, and then wine over on one side. Trevor's Liquor 8.3 is what Portnoy gave him. I've never heard of this other one, Andiamo Pizzeria in Scottsdale. It's right down the street from me. I've never heard of it. 8.2. Pizza Bianco was, I believe, at 8 something. Arizona's got some of the best pizza in the country. People are just out of their mind. They don't understand it. All right. What else you got? Anything else?
Nope, that's it, Smitty. I was just basically trying to share my thought about how I think that good for Indiana. I think that I feel bad for Chicago, but your politicians suck, and Indiana is showing the money. That's just what Kansas did, and I'm all for it. I'm all for the Kansas side too, because me personally, I'm a Kansas guy. I'm not a Missouri guy, so I support it just because I'm from Kansas. But a lot of people here, a lot of Chiefs fans don't like this, but those guys are from the Missouri side. So it's kind of the way I see this. I just relate to it with like Bears fans and people in Indiana and stuff. So I thought it was interesting because it looks like not a lot, but it looks like a couple NFL teams are relocating and going where the money is. I mean, Raiders did it. Now Chiefs. Now maybe Bears. We'll see if anyone else does, but it's interesting. But yeah, that's it, Smitty. I was just sharing my thoughts.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Later.
See you, Smitty.
All right, Pizza Bianco. I don't know why he rated them so low. They're like thought of by other reviews. Pizza Bianco's top 10 in the nation, and Portnoy gave him a 7 something. But Lou Malnati's, Dave Portnoy in 2020 gave their frozen pizza, and for anybody that's like laughing, frozen pizza, what is it in the grocery aisle? No, Lou Malnati sells a frozen pizza. You can buy it online. And when I go to Lou Malnati's, sometimes I just pick it up in the freezer section versus getting them to make it. It tastes exactly the same. They basically just take the ingredients, put it all together. Instead of putting it in the oven, they wrap it up and put it in the freezer. It's the exact same. And their frozen review in 2020 got an 8.4 from Portnoy. 8.4 Lou Malnati's. So from Chicago, I feel vindicated because I knew that it was up here. They got the higher score than Trevor's. From a frozen review, though. Didn't quite count in the normal, but Lou Malnati's is it. I love Lou Malnati's. They closed the one right next to me, but they have another one near Scottsdale that I drive to, and there's a freezer section. You just I grabbed 2 or 3 and put them in the freezer. Just because I'm scared to death they're going to close that one. I think we feel like pizza tonight. We might go to Costco, though. You know why we go to Costco? Because the little one, Little Smitty loves Costco pizza. Little Smitty, let's see if Little Smitty wants Costco pizza. Hold on. Let's see if Little Smitty wants Costco pizza. Let's ask her. Everybody watching wants to know, and she just lost a tooth, by the way. Would you... Tell everybody, yes or no, are we going to Costco to get pizza tonight for dinner?
No.
No? Why?
Because I don't like Costco.
You love Costco pizza. You want croissants?
Yes.
Okay, then we'll go. And the last question, can you give them a Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow?
What is that?
Remember when you used to go, Joe Burr.
Joe Burr.
All right, get out. Costco? Let's go. Okay, Costco croissants. Costco croissants it is. She pulled her tooth out the other day. She's petrified of losing it. It's the first tooth she ever lost. And she just grabbed it and just pulled it right out. So we're experiencing that. Costco pizza. Costco will be closed 7:10. No, it won't. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. Oh, Big Profit says 1.5 or 1.11 and 1.12. As much as it's fun to think about getting 2 picks at that turn, I'm taking 1.5. Somebody falls, Jonah Coleman goes somewhere great. Have maybe the second running back option, maybe Sadiq. I'm assuming it's not a super flex. If it was, then obviously Mendoza moves one of those guys down, so it's a very good pick. I'd take the 1.5, and I'd try and move the 1.5 up a couple spots. Hold on, she wants to. You give her the stage, and she won't let go of it. Okay, just this time, what is it that we can help you with again? Go ahead, real quick. Go ahead. Well, they can hear you. Tell everybody where you were when you pulled your tooth out yesterday.
On the toilet.
All right. What did you come in here for? Are you taking over this show someday? Here, pretend you're starting the show. Go ahead, go.
This is the Fantasy Football Show live.
Give us one breakout player this year. Who's going to be a really good player this year? Ronaldo. All right. I'll see you later. Hurry, go ahead. Hurry. You got to climb on the chair.
Okay. Boogerhead.
What'd you say? Boogerhead. She just called all 140 of you YouTubers boogerheads. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate all of you. Costco Pizza, here we come. Rumblers, appreciate you. Rumblers, thanks Landman for the $20 holler. Landman says, thank God she looks like her mother. And we're out of here. So appreciate you all. See you at midnight. Costco, here we come. Don't forget to click on the links in the description. MiamiLinks.com for your gold chains, silver chains, 999 chains, Gunner.com for your sunglasses. Underdog promo code Smitty will match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. And don't forget to get on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/the Fantasy Football Show. See you all later. See you at midnight. Later, Rumble.